You were never broken. You were addicted to pity, attention seeking, and making excuses for yourself. By my higher observation. Celestial rising, divine afternoon, and grand night to the beautiful divine mirage watching this mindful message. It's your divine reflection, divine messenger, and we are back with another observation that comes from you and I. And I don't want to make this too long because it is 3:28 a.m. and I am very tired and I am going through ascension symptoms right now. So I've been very just I've been at it. I've been at it constantly and even just retaining this energy and giving y'all different downloads and different knowledge and teachings. I stumbled upon this note. It was in my iPhone. I was just going through my notes. I have over 700 something teachings and I haven't even taught majority of them yet. But I went to a note in 2019 and this is basically what I had down. And so when I seen it, this is actually what I had in my notes. List of things you are not. And a burden, damaged goods, a waste of time, stupid, weak, unlovable, broken, less important, a failure, ugly. You are a sexy human being and you know you look like a full course meal every day and alone. And when I seen that today before I went to practice, I was just like, you know what? I want to make this a video because there's somebody out there who probably is going through a lot of things to where they may feel spiritually broken. Somebody may be going through an abusive situation, a certain allegation, a scamming scandal, an affair, getting cheated on. They may be getting fired. They may have to go to summer school. They may have failed a test or the finals. We don't know what's going on with people. And so this video is meant to mock and offend your ego. So if I'm able to piss you off, then that means you have more work to do internally. I'm either right or wrong. I have no idea what I'm talking about. But I'm here to guide you to the water, but never make you drink it. All right. For one, you are not traumatized. You are just avoiding spiritual growth. Excuse me. You could be spamming the word trauma on everything to avoid taking responsibility for what happened in your past. Pain is real through the ego's meaning of what pain thinks it is defined as. But healing is a choice. And if you've been healing for 1 to 100 years with no progress, you are addicted to your victimhood. And then, am I able to, I'm going to click on this real quick. There we go. And I put that in there just for the source as well, but I wanted to be able to read that because, so even with the victim mentality, because we are on, okay, so we're on this part right here. Now with victim mentality, let's understand. When it comes down to this, what does the victim mentality mean? It's not my fault. Someone who acts from a place of victimhood claims things that happen to them are the fault of someone or something other than themselves. And the thing is, this is basically what humanity will always do, especially when it comes down to you. Because here's the thing as well. We are all embedded with this virus right here. Excuse me. I feel as if being a victim is a virus because it's something that you innately want to be in. You want to be a victim to, you want to be a victim to your sorrow. You want to be a victim to your past. You want to be a victim to your judgment. You want to be a victim to your past relationships, your past friendships. You want to be a victim so bad to where when somebody comes across and they're healed or they look like they're healing, you have to put that suffering and that depression and that hatred, that envy that you feel towards yourself onto that person. And it might be the fault of their partner, family, coworker, friend, or the way the world is. They frequently complain about the bad things that happen in their lives. They are reluctant to take personal responsibility, asserting that the circumstances are in their control. And it's not a martyr complex. Victim mentality can sometimes be confused with a martyr complex. They are two similar behaviors, but there are some differences. Victims take things personally. They take things personally. Even if a comment or a statement wasn't directed at them, they will absorb it as if it was. What did I do to deserve this is a common question for them. Now, I see that a lot with one of my players that I'm coaching AU with, and of course today is game day and got the head coach position, so we're off and running. And one of the players I noticed he's like me when I was his age. And I noticed that whenever somebody criticizes him, because we had to have a talk with him today about being critiqued and how tone is, there are certain initiations with personalities and tone when it comes down to the future. And a lot of times I notice as well that a lot of beings they're not ready to hear what the other being has to say about what they are doing as far as their lifestyle. Because a lot of times too, a lot of people do not want you to. So I'm trying to get this thing going. My bad, y'all. Yeah, that's bothering me. I need to have this in the full. All right. How about we do this? I want to end the show. And then I want to go back. Let's go back to. This is going to stay up there? If so, then. Okay, cool. Thank you. That's exactly what I wanted. Now, I also want that. Am I able to get the drawing tools? I want that the laser pointer. Yes, yeah. Okay. I'm going to put this as white, but it's all good. Okay, but, so yeah, and then by him even being the victim, he will, so for example, let's say we're doing a 2-3 or we're in man-to-man. A lot of times for Isaiah, that would be his name, he's an overthinker. But he's really athletic though, and he's really good on defense as well, and offense when he puts more effort into it. And me and him had a talk, and he just basically said, okay, so what did you notice about the things that I got developed? And he'll say these things in a condescending tone because he feels as if he's better than what he's portrayed to society. When beings like coaches, when we're looking at him, he doesn't see what we see, but he sees what he's seeing through social media or going to LA Fitness or from his friend group that validates his habits. And things too, his habits can be his biggest downfall, because if you're going to go for a dunk and you're not actually dunking the ball, now it's like you're just causing yourself to put your head down, and then when you get yelled at, you ask the coach, what did I do? I thought I did a correct play, or I was able to do this and that, and you're making excuses now because as a leader, you just say, you know what, I fucked up, it's my bad, let me go and just move on from it. But he has a hard time doing that. And nothing against him, by the way, but that's just him growing up into him being a better man. So I appreciate him for even wanting to grow and become more mentally aware of how criticism will work, even in your workplace, even in school, whatever. You're not going to always get a good grade. And sometimes the teacher will probably talk shit like, damn, you got an F on this easy ass test or whatever. Like, take that into consideration and take it as what it is, because you should feel embarrassed for even failing that test because you didn't put in the work to study. So now you feel as if, oh, it's somebody else's fault, or why are you laughing? You didn't let me cheat off of you. No. That's not Susie Lou's fault that you couldn't copy off her. That's not Elizabeth Fowler's fault that you couldn't copy off her. That's not Daryl Henderson's fault that you couldn't copy off him. That's not Destiny Rain's fault behind you because, no, Destiny Elise's fault because you're not, you couldn't cheat off of her behind you. No, you should have gotten your ass up when you went home from practice, from just getting home from school, whatever, and you should have studied. But you decided not to. Now you're failing the class for finals. School's about to be over with and you're not finna graduate. Whose fault is that? You may say your ex ruined your life or outlook on relationships, but really they exposed what you refuse to fix within yourself. And now you are out here labeling it as your personality. And that's the thing right there. And we already basically explained that, but so whenever an ex decides to tell somebody about themselves, a lot of times people, once again, they cannot take constructive criticism because they're not, willing to want to grow. A lot of people avoid spiritually growing up. A lot of people avoid mentally growing up, physically growing up, because living in a lie, living in a comfortable view of what you think is normal is what keeps you stuck in those lies. And then those lies will recycle and they'll keep on, I would say, dispersing into different outlets that you want to hold on to. It's like you're on a highway and you want to go to this side of the road because you see something going on over there, but then you see something better over here, and then over here, and then over here. Now it's like you're all in the lanes just maneuvering, and you're crashing into people, and you're getting T-bones, you're doing backflips, you got logs jumping on cars and shit like that. You got a whole stockpile of cars because you're not really able to sit there and fix what you have to fix amongst yourself. If you break up with somebody or they break up with you, ask them, well, can you tell me what I did that caused you? And understand too, you will not always get that clarity. You will not always get that say so on why things went the way they went. You have to be able to self-evaluate yourself every single day. What were you not doing to please this woman or this man? What can you do better for your next relationship? What can you do better for yourself? What can you do to enhance a better way of living so that you're not able to be a victim every single day? You are not unlovable. You are just emotionally lazy. People don't avoid you because you are too real or too confident or this and that. They could be avoiding you because you're inconsistent, immature, and entitled to love without offering emotional accountability. The act or practice of taking responsibility for one's own emotions, thoughts, and reactions, as well as the impact they may have on oneself and others. Emotional accountability involves acknowledging and owning one's emotions, expressing them in a healthy and constructive manner, and recognizing the role one plays in their own emotional well-being and relationships. And to me, I've definitely enjoyed this one because, so what was the key point I had? So the act or practice of taking responsibility for one's own actions, thoughts, and reactions, as well as the impact they may have on one's self and others. Emotional accountability involves acknowledging and owning one's emotions. Now, it's basically self-explanatory, but I like to always go in depth so that I'm able to just learn more, because when I'm able to shift my mindset, I like to play dumb a lot. And when I play dumb, I basically like to let my mind or get my ego to start wanting to dissect information that was already embedded within my genetic makeup. But because of that, I'm just basically playing in fool's gold because I already know and envision what my life looks like. But what I'm doing right now is basically helping us experience what we think we know. But the ego doesn't know shit, but we're just basically studying what we actually are able to perceive when we're able to take accountability for our emotions. Because now, when you're able to acknowledge your emotions and you own up to them, now you can express yourself in a healthy and constructive manner. Meaning that, for one, right now I'm in a great mood, really all the time. But if I'm in a bad mood, I choose to not say things or sentences or words that can trigger somebody. Because I know that the triggered feeling that my ego wants to say out loud, it's not going to benefit the being that's in front of me. It's not going to uplift them. So if I'm having a shitty day, a bad day, a sad day, me talking to somebody, it could help, but it shouldn't be the outlet I should be running to. Does that make sense? I shouldn't be running to help when the helpless can't help themselves. But by me being helpless at a vulnerable moment, I have to be able to evaluate why I'm feeling like that, but then acknowledge why I'm feeling like that. Because really, realistically, spiritually, I'm not feeling any type of way, but what I'm doing and being right now. But as for basically in my being, that's being what it wants to be through that emotion that's bringing me down to a descension. My ego now has to be able to guide me, my awareness, into overcoming that feeling. But that's exactly why whenever you have accountability and you recognize what's going on, you'll be able to adapt that emotion, alchemize it, and then this is now how you're able to become fruitful in your partnerships, your relationships, your co-workers, your family. Doesn't even matter, because you're taking the precautions on not letting your emotions control you. If your emotions can navigate you, then you are mentally enslaved to your own emotions. You expect someone to love your chaos while making zero effort to clean it up, and that's not self-love, that's selfishness. Children, babies, they have a great sense of this right here, selfishness. And I say they should, by all means, because they came into a realm that they feel as if they weren't brought into off their own willpower or whatever, but they agree to come here. And a lot of times too, when people are existing in chaos, they don't want you to call them out on it. They don't want to be criticized about that. So I could say, yo, you missed like 10 layups. Then the player will get mad and say, man, that's all you worried about. You worried about me missing 10 layups, but I did everything else correct. Whoa, control your emotions. You told me that you want the feedback from this basketball culture, but now when I'm giving you the feedback to help benefit you as a man, a young man that you are right now, you get upset with me. But you tell me, I want feedback from you, coach, so be honest with me. Which one do you need? You have to acknowledge your own emotions, because you are not your emotions. When people ignore you, you may want to get upset. You may feel like you're lonely or you don't have their attention. So what? Go bring that attention towards yourself. You are not alone. You just burn every bridge and play victim. It's not that no one understands you, but it's that you sabotage everything that requires you to grow beyond your ego. That right there, when I understood that, I had a realization of how I used to be as well. Then you cry about being misunderstood. Example, you cut off anyone who holds you accountable, then post your thoughts or say them and make them about protecting your peace. No, let's stop the shit. You are protecting your dysfunction. Protecting dysfunction is when someone is enabling harmful or ineffective behaviors instead of fixing it. And the thing is, to an example I put down, it happens when people or organizations defend or cover up problems just so they can avoid conflict, save face, or protect relationships. And doing this is why the allowance of the dysfunction will continue. This can happen for anything, even in families, workplaces, schools, or governments. And so sabotaging everything. You know that your family members smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol, touching themselves as far as watching the websites, being a creep towards girls or a predator, or grooming younger women or men, being a pedo, all these different tactics. If you don't call out what that is, you are literally protecting dysfunction or a dysfunctional mindset or dysfunctional characteristic. And on top of that, you're enabling the harmful behavior. That's exactly why a lot of kids are lashing out when I'm counseling them, because in the household, their destructive behavior is allowed, it's enabled, because these kids now became the parents, and they understand that when they can get away with one thing, now that one thing becomes that lie that they will always hold on to, because they can bear more enlightenment into unfolding that lie into becoming a truth that this parent does not know was built from that little child's lies. And then when a child is protected by the mother or father through their dysfunctional practice, this dysfunction becomes enabled, accepted, allowed, comfortable, and then it's laughable, it's accepting. And then as this being gets older, that same exact program now gets them into some tough shit. They'll burn bridges, they'll lose family members, they'll lose money, they'll lose opportunities as far as jobs, as far as business promotions, getting into different avenues for their lifestyle. They will start self-harming themselves because they haven't been able to sit there and protect their own peace. Their peace came from doing chaotic things that they thought were normal. But that's exactly why it was dysfunctional. And protecting that dysfunction is exactly why society is mentally dysfunctional right now. People have to stop sabotaging themselves because you are not able to grow beyond your ego. Stop fearing the ego and stop fearing growing beyond the ego. You have to elevate beyond what you think your mind is living in. Because if you don't, your mind will step and put its foot on your neck to where now you're asking your higher self, I need some help, I need some guidance. It's giving you these little hints, these different nuggets in life that you should be walking across or walking into. But the ego gonna say, nope, you my bitch today. I control you. But then you wake up one day and then you start acknowledging your dysfunctional practices and your actions. You become aware of them and then you control them. And then while they're controlled by you, they submit to you as you become more dominant in your spirit. You are not ugly. You are just disconnected from your power. Looks will always fade away over the course of how you take care of yourself, but your lack of purpose is what really makes you unattractive. That's a bar. Your lack of purpose is what really makes you unattractive. If you wake up every day and you decide to smoke cigarettes, weed, you decide to go to your homeboy's house and play the game, sit on his couch, sit in his living room, listen to music, play on your phone, and you're putting a hole into the couch. You're putting a dent into somebody else's couch, or this person's mom or his girl's couch. When are you going to wake up in this experience and ask yourself, what am I doing here? We're shooting dice, we're laughing, we're drinking, we're smoking, we're playing the game, music is blasting, loud as shit. We go to the store to change the scenery, but yet we come right back to the same exact recycling thought process that we accepted as normal or cool. When are beings going to take accountability for finding their own purpose and not allowing it to fall into their lap? You cannot wake up every day and expect your purpose to fall into your lap. You can't find confidence in that at all whatsoever. because you will always be submissive into thinking that life owes you a purpose for you to fulfill, and you still can't fulfill that. Confidence isn't about taking a selfie or posting your body online or spending money on the net or saying stupid shit online. It's about always waking up with the intention and knowing you never had to chase what you can attract mentally. You can attract this. You can attract this. You can attract being attractive. You can attract your looks, and you can also attract this. How would you attract your purpose? What are the things that satisfy you every day? When you see them, when you talk about them, when you think about them, when you learn them, when you commit an action towards that thought. What is the one thing that gets you up every day and then you just attack your day off of that one thought or that feeling that these thoughts are creating from how you envision your future to be by this purpose, fulfilling your lifestyle every single day? What habit do you do that will cause you to change your lifestyle, to become financially free, to become free from whatever you want to run away from? What are you going to do to make that purpose find you? You have to become a magnet. People buy designer clothes, filters along with likes and followers, surgeries, BBLs as well, teeth, and more illusions, but yet they won't invest in their mindset, health, or solar awareness. That's not transcending your energy. That's living blindly to desperation. When people are desperate for this, they lose this. This is not purpose. This can enhance it for sure, but it's not purpose. Your purpose is basically, when you wake up, you don't have to have money attached to it. You don't have to have clothes attached to it, materials, illusions attached to this purpose. When you wake up with no money involved, what fulfills you once again? What causes you to be happy? What makes you enjoy living and breathing? What makes you enjoy wanting to become a better man or woman? If you know what that thing is and you have created it and you are learning from it and you're doing the learning process currently, you know what your purpose is because you made it up. You have to make it up. If I ask purpose, what is your purpose? Purpose? If it gives me an answer, I'm going to say that's not your purpose because, for one, tomorrow if I ask you the same question, you'll come up with a new statement. But spiritually, if I ask purpose, what is your purpose? Oh, that's purposeful right there. By you even becoming silent, you already telling me, my purpose is to guide you into what you think your purpose looks like. And if purpose says through me, I'm just holding up a mirror to myself. Lastly, you're not broken. You are addicted to being the underdog. You keep rewriting, saying, thinking, and telling yourself the same sob story because it is constantly giving you an identity. You were never broken. You are currently avoiding evolution. Misery has become your comfort zone, and how do you get away from it when you lay next to it or in the same house or go to the same location as its company? You say, I'm just trying to find myself or find better opportunities to come my way or a better life, while repeatedly scrolling on social media for 1 to 6 hours a day, smoking to numb the truth, drinking your thoughts into a recycling void, playing against pixels and bragging like you have skill, and ghosting every real opportunity. You don't have to find yourself because you're looking for empathy without change. Or you don't want to find yourself because you're looking for sympathy without change. You have to change your addictions. You're an underdog because look at your habits. You're not ready to become the top dog. You're not ready to be a big dog in society. Look at what you do every day. Did you smoke today? Did you drink today? Did you exercise today? Did you go out in nature today? Did you ground today? For how long? You're on your phone longer than you're going outside, so who's really your God? Did you journal today? Did you go for a walk? Did you do any breathing exercises today? Did you become mindful? Did you play a frequency? Did you drink water? Were you fasting? Did you eat fruit? Or did you eat bullshit like chicken, fries, popcorn? What else? Steak, pork chop, oxtail, shrimp, calamari. It doesn't matter. Chicken tenders. What are you doing for yourself? Are you just watching the NBA playoffs? Pay attention to who's distracted by the playoffs. Tory Lanez, Meg Thee Stallion, DDG, Hailey Bailey, Chris Brown, Diddy, all these transgenders that are going on in social media. This is why people are numb to their own truth. They are so distracted by outward appearances that actually aren't appearing to be real, to where they don't know what's actually real anymore. That's what's keeping them broken. They are addicted to actually becoming less than, because they see what's less than and misery on social media, to where now this misery has become comfortable. And they lay right next to it, because that person that they're laying next to will bring that same exact misery right towards their viewpoint. And then now they're pointing to it every single day, and they're looking at it, but they don't talk about it. They don't want to acknowledge it, because it's weird when they do that. It makes them go beyond their comfort zone or their ego. It makes them go beyond the ego. They don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. That's exactly why when people are crying to you about their story every single day, every single week, it's because they have to find their identity. Whether it's through you, their parents, social media, it doesn't matter. People are finding identities, but why aren't you observing one? Why are you finding, creating, mimicking identities that can't identify what they never were? And when I say never were, you are the observation of an observation. You're observing a holographic realm that has no physical capabilities of being real, till humanity defined what real was in an illusion that the mind thinks is real. But if you ask your mind in a higher realm, what is real in this pixelated world? It won't even give you an answer, because why? It was never there to begin with. Realize that you're not a burden. You're not damaged goods. You're not a waste of time. You're not stupid. You're not weak. You're not unlovable. You're not broken. You're not less important. You're not a failure. And you're not ugly. And you're not alone. You have to go through these things because, for one, they're helping you become a better person, a better being. And if you're not being better for yourself, then all you're doing is soaking in pity, attention seeking, and you're going to always make excuses for yourself because you can't get better for yourself. You're looking for a cure outside of yourself, and that actually cannot cure you. So you're the one curing yourself. So what cure will you find for yourself to actually want to digest, so that you can wake up feeling better, thinking better, moving better, operating your thoughts better, committing actions better, learning better, actually teaching better, doing things that can better your future version of yourself? If you're not willing to change, then when will you change? And if you won't change for today, you won't change tomorrow. And if you don't change tomorrow, by the time you get into that coffin or you get cremated, I'm going to ask you again, since you reincarnated into another trap of your mindset, when will you change? When you didn't change in your past life? Oh, you died again. I'm going to ask you again, when will you change? It's your third time not getting this shit right. Oh, you ain't get it right again. Your fourth time. I see you again. Different vessel, same spirit. When will you change? If you're not changing your mind, your heart, your throat gateways, your first eye, your third eye. Peep the symbolism in life. As a unified consciousness for oneness in life, how will you find symbolism and imagery that looks real, defined as matter, when physically matter is not defined as real, to the spiritual awareness of what matter can actually not become, until you become the observation of what matter is being through you? Have a great and divine day, divine reflection.